The beauty of a big family is that you have a community of people to grow with and to grow in relationship with.
Family for us is a foretaste of heaven. We get to experience unconditional love. We get to experience seeing one another grow and just sharing life with one another.
I think the beauty of a big family is just having a bunch of friends all around.
Favorite thing to do with Dad is climbing up his belly.
You always have someone to turn to or talk to. Even if your parents are busy or some of your older siblings or younger siblings are busy, you'll always be able to find somebody you can talk to.
After every child that we've had, we just realize how faithful God is to providing and helping us just make sure that our family is growing and secure and thriving. And so it's easy at that point to say, hey, things are going well. You know, I think we could be open to another child. So I think God, each step of the way, has helped us to do that, to be more open.
Hi, I'm John. This is my wife, Julia. We're the Hovings, and we have 8 children.
Our oldest daughter is Teresa. She is 20 years old. She's always our easygoing, well-organized. She's an engineering student at Michigan Tech. And she enjoys outdoor sports. She enjoys hiking, swimming, mountain biking.
Yeah, her laugh is something that people always remember. She's a very joyful person. Next, Gianna's 18. She's going off to college this year to Northern Michigan to study education. Gianna is a very deep person and feels things very intensely. She's a very loyal friend. She's got a lot of friends that she's very close with. But she enjoys nature the most. She loves getting out and just building those forts. She built a hammock in the woods out of vines once and just spent some extra time.
Thomas is our third child. He's our oldest son. He's 16 years old. Thomas is our hard worker. He likes to do a good job and a big job. He's very competitive. He loves our playing board games and showing off how strong he is. He's a great dancer. He has a lot of friends that he enjoys getting together with.
Our next is Dominic. Dominic's 14. He's starting high school this year. And Dominic is so creative and very cunning. At board games, he's hard to beat. And, it's something we love to do as a family. But he's also sensitive as well. He loves to do shoulder massages at night and just talk about his day. He's also very musical. He plays the drums and enjoys sharing that service with others.
Regina is about to turn 12. She is artistic, creative. She loves reading big books. She loves having friends over and having a group of people around her. Regina's our sweetheart. She has lots of people that always are reaching out to her at school.
Martin's next. Martin's 9 years old, starting 4th grade. He loves to do everything I'm doing around the house, in the wood shop, playing games. We just enjoy doing a lot of different things together, different sports outside.
Rosemary is 5. She's going to be starting kindergarten this year, and she is full of energy and very thoughtful. She always comes up with very thought-provoking comments and the ways that she sees the world. She's very welcoming. So if you're walking to our house, you'll have a conversation with Rosemary. She has plenty to tell you about.
Joseph is our youngest. He's 2, and Joseph really enjoys wrestling and playing. He's got words now, so he's just learning a new word every day, and he's a lot of fun. All the siblings want to take him for bike rides and take him and do different activities.
John and I met in college. We were both freshmen, just finishing our freshman year of college. We had mutual friends, and we would go out on camping trips. We were up in the Upper Peninsula on Lake Superior, so it's just a beautiful Great Lake with lots of beautiful shorelines. So we would go hiking and camping. And one camping trip in particular, we were all there together with friends. And afterwards, we kind of took our own little walk and really just got to get to know each other and started talking. And John wasn't Christian at the time, and so our conversation just really got deeper and deeper very quickly. He was definitely searching for, just what is God, who is this person, and so I think we just were very much enjoyed just being able to have deep conversation about things that normally doesn't come up in your first walk at college.
So we continued on going hikes together and long walks on the beach. We were on the shores of Lake Superior, but really it was her genuineness that really drew me in. She would listen, we would talk, we would share a lot. We were both very open to learning about each other and our different backgrounds. The thing that drew me to her most was probably her joy. She had such a great sense of humor, and she was so confident. Something about her confidence that also drew me in, and she was attractive.
So we just were spending a lot of time as a group. There was 10 of us on that team. And so we would work hard together for 3 or 4 days, and then we would have the weekends together where we would just go camping or have fun. So we just really got to know each other on that deeper level of just as friends. So I think that was beautiful, just having our first summer together to be great friends that really got to know each other. And then we started dating after that.
As Julia and I began dating, the faith for her was very important. She was raised Catholic, but I was actually raised an atheist. So I didn't have much of a faith background, but I was curious about it. I was wondering, at that time, could this be true? Might it be real? And it was after about dating for 6 weeks when I had a moment of deep conversion where the Lord just kind of revealed himself to me in my heart, where I just had that. He gave me the gift of faith. It was a complete grace. I didn't really deserve it or earn it or anything like that, but it was just a complete gift. And from that moment on, I had a strong belief in God.
Being a husband and a father he's very just loving. He is joyful, and he definitely shares that enthusiasm for life with our children and with me. We love to do activities together. He's very creative, always hanging up zip lines and making tree houses. He builds a lot with his hands, and so the kids really just enjoy all those gifts that he shares. But he's definitely very invested in our kids.
There's so many amazing qualities about Julia. One of the best is just her sense of humor. She brings joy and because of joy, also peace into situations. When the kids are fighting, she can sometimes find a funny thing to make them both laugh, and then suddenly they're fine again. And so, but she's also very creative and very genuine. She really speaks from the heart into different situations. And so I've just been incredibly blessed by her modeling forgiveness and mercy. She doesn't hold grudges, and so when I make a mistake, she'll let me know. But I know that she's not going to hold it against me in the future. She lets go of it, and we grow and learn. So just her humility and her joy. She just brings so much laughter and fun into our family.
I love my mom's, the way that she tries so many new things and she likes doing things on her own and innovating things. She'll try new recipes that I was I thought you just bought yogurt from the store, but I guess you can also make it in Instapot or something like that. I just thought there was only one way to do things, and then she just kind of re-innovates things that I always thought was super cool.
I love how my mom is really always willing to try new things, and I think it inspires in the kids of the family, like that ingenuity to try something new or to pursue something new. And it really inspires me in the way that I feel like I can try new things without having to have a lot of practice or something like that.
John and I have intentionally been role models for our kids and just putting our relationship with God and Christ first in our life. John works for the Catholic Church, so he left a public school teaching job to really follow that and just that call on his heart, that just to be in relationship with Christ and his work and to serve in that way. I also volunteer at the church a lot. I help with the younger children doing atrium. So I think just showing that relationship is primary with each other, but that our faith is, the most important part of our life.
I really appreciate that my mom, she would just take any situation she's in and make the best out of it. Whether our car has broken on the side of the road, she's like, hey, let's go play at the park right down the road or something. And so she's very good at just taking any situation and bringing joy into it and making it fun and lighthearted.
I know that our children are always watching us, and not that we do it to be seen, but they're learning and they're wondering what is most important in my life. Is being on my phone more important when I come home from work, or is putting it away and being with them more important? And it's very subtle, and sometimes they need to remind me, hey, Dad, and they'll pull and tug, and I'm like, oh yeah. And so I'll put the phone down and get down on the floor and play some checkers or a different game. So we all need to be reminded, and it's not easy, but I'd say spending that quality time together is really what does provide the most security and helps us to grow close to one another.
Something that I really appreciate that my dad always did was just spending time outside, because that's always been a place for me when I get overwhelmed by different things, like within our family or within like school. Like my dad is really good at like just spending time outside to kind of rejuvenate kind of, and I felt like that was something that I really needed when I was growing up too.
He would intentionally spend time with us, and he would devote time after work to build fun things for us, whether it's a tree fort or playing Frisbee or the sandbox. Just he was very devoted to us and to having fun with us. We're
trying very hard to be the best we can be. We want to put our best foot forward, both for the world and for our kids, but we also everyone needs to know that we're human and that we're going to make mistakes, and that this is a place where you can come back to for forgiveness and mercy. And so we make sure that things like confession and going to the sacraments are an important part of our family tradition, and that's a place our children get to experience that from the Lord. But then in the domestic church at home, we also practice forgiving one another and having those moments of reconciliation throughout the day.
I believe definitely God has gifted us with being able to have a large family. First of all, you realize that just even having children is a gift that not everybody is able to have. So we definitely realize how blessed we are to have our children. And just the beauty of each one being their own individual person. It's always special when you see, they have my color eyes, or they have, John's smile. And to see that part of you go on into a new being, but also just the beauty of that they're completely individual and they have their own interests and gifts and talents. So it's part of an adventure of just seeing who we are and who we are created to be, and watching our children and ourselves grow into those people.
One of the ways that my wife and I have tried to build our family on the rock of Jesus Christ is by spending that quality time together and bringing Jesus into the different things that we do. We'll pray even as we go on road trips together. We'll bring him into our family time, the stories we read, the movies we watch. We try to even ask the kids when we watch a movie that's not a Christian movie, we'll watch a secular movie, we'll say, how did you see the faith come alive in this? Or how does that relate to our faith? So we do try to bring him into almost everything we do as a family. And it's been a lot of fun, really just even finding the joys of life, getting out into nature, God's creation, all the different ways, and just sort of keeping that focus on him. I think just coming together to pray the rosary each night is probably the most central one, because it's a tradition that the kids know is central, and that it's sort of a non-negotiable. And so that's been a beautiful time too.
We've definitely realized, Christ has to be the foundation, the cornerstone. And so he is a big part. Our sacramental life is really important to us to make sure that we're receiving the Eucharist constantly, asking forgiveness and reconciliation. Our sacramental grace of marriage has definitely been something that's got us through a lot.
I'd say one of the struggles early on was when we just had 3 or 4 kids. It was a lot of busyness, a lot of changing diapers, and even going out in public with 3 or 4 kids. I remember feeling very insecure about are my kids behaving and all these different things. And it wasn't until we had 5 kids and you had one in double digits, 10 or older, that started to help. And I think even just with the experience and with age, I just started to notice that people weren't as critical as I thought. It was a lot of it was just me and needing to realize that not to sweat the small stuff. And they grow, and all those behaviors that are happening then aren't going to be happening in 5 or 10 more years. So it is a little bit of just having the patience and reminding ourselves that this isn't going to be forever. We're going to get through this.
And I think we're all growing as we figure these things out. A lot of it does just come from different personalities. Certain people have preferences for, being competitive and always winning. Other people would rather just play quietly. Some people like a lot of energy. Other people don't like to be touched, So just a little bit is taking the time to learn about each other and say, hey, he's asked you to stop. You need to respect that. So just a lot of it is respect-based. Like, that he doesn't like that, so you need to stop that. And again, we're all people that are picky about things and have different tolerances, so it does take time.
One thing we've definitely tried to model is forgiveness and apologizing. The first to apologize wins, usually is the case, but that's something that, I even as earlier today, I was trying to put one child to bed and another one interrupted, and so I said, would you please go? And they got a little teary-eyed. So later I came and said, I'm really sorry. I was trying to get your younger sibling to bed. Can I play with you now? And so then we went and played a game.
Big family, you do fight with your siblings a lot. It can be physically, or with my older sisters, I would never hit them, but we'd have verbal fights. So we'd call each other names and scream at each other. But the one thing that I feel resolved it and always brought us back together was my parents committed a long time ago, almost as long as I can remember, to praying a family rosary every day after dinner. And I feel being in the same room with Mother Mary's intercession always brought us back together in such a miraculous way. I mean, it feels like you're just sitting in a room glaring at each other, but by the end of that 20 minutes of prayer, you feel like you're best buds again.
One word of encouragement I would give to families, whether you're just getting started or whether you're along in your marriage and your family life, is just letting God kind of have his way in your life. Just talking with your spouse, praying about things. I think God brings the joy. So if you're willing to, maybe let him step in and help you make your decisions, and taking each day, each encounter with each child as an encounter with Christ is how you really, meet him in the joy, is where he's like, hey, I know this is a mess. Let's just laugh about it. Let's just, this is what life is. You're in it. You're with me. I really enjoy thinking of all of my children as little Christs to me. I really feel like that's how I encounter him, through them. And in my husband as well. I feel like John brings so much joy to my life, just by the way he loves me, and the same thing with children. They give you so much unconditional love, and that's really how you experience Christ.
We're the Hoving family.
And we are joyfully filled.
My life is a miracle. Every child has a story of God's love to share. Shalom World. Tune into God's love story.